Thank you. I want to get immediate reaction now from the Palestinian side. Husam Zomlot was head of the Palestinian mission in Washington before the Trump administration closed his office down. He is now the Palestinian ambassador to the United Kingdom, and he joins me from London. If they do this, it will work. The words of Donald Trump and his message to the Palestinians today. Your response to what you have just heard, sir?
What I just heard and saw was a second-rate political comedy, really. It's a political circus, and it's a scam in the lowest possible situation. I mean, President Trump himself said that he likes to do big things, and he did 3 big things today. The first, he just killed the prospects of a negotiated two-state solution, because if an Israeli prime minister had already pocketed Jerusalem, all the settlements, the Jordan Valley, which is more than a third of the occupied West Bank, pocketed the issue of refugees, you tell me, Becky, if any future Israeli prime minister will sit and negotiate a two-state solution in accordance with international resolutions. The second big thing President Trump has just killed today is international order itself, is the post-Second World War order that was established primarily actually to resolve conflicts peacefully and to introduce rules that govern the relationship between nations and states. And the premise, the heart of that order is the inadmissibility of acquiring territory, let alone annexing territory, by force. That premise has been dismantled today, and I believe today will begin the rule of the jungle, chaos all over, because you will have 100 Netanyahus all over the world who are facing criminal charges, are facing elections, and who would want to do the same, just grab territories, annex territories for the sake of being re-elected. And the third big thing President Trump today did, he actually helped Israel being pushed off the cliff towards apartheid, full-fledged apartheid, because what Israel will have to erect now is simply Pantostans, as your correspondent Sam just said. And I think this will be remembered by the future Israeli generations, that Mr. Trump was the one who actually did not allow Israel to go in the path of a genuine, real peace. And we all know what are the parameters for peace, Becky.
And I hear what you're saying, and we are listening to the voice and the thoughts of Husam Zomlot, who is now the Palestinian ambassador to the UK. Responding, within minutes of President Trump announcing the details of what, or giving us a sort of, the ballpark of what he calls this deal of the century, a deal, the opportunity of a lifetime, he said. Let's have a listen to specifically what he said.
Today's agreement is a historic opportunity for the Palestinians to finally achieve an independent state of their very own. After 70 years of little progress, this could be the last opportunity they will ever have.
You have argued that you do not buy what the US president has just said. This is by no means, you say, in favor of the Palestinians. So what happens next, sir?
I mean, President Trump can really benefit from some humility. Even in his speech, he couldn't pronounce the name of the third holiest mosque, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, and he wants to draw the faith of 13 million Palestinians without having one of the 13 million in his audience, and having all the extreme right-wing Israeli representatives and those from the American side is really a show. It's President Trump came from the show business, and it tells you a lot about his mindset in terms of the real estate business, that somebody gets the property and somebody gets the cash. In this case, Israel gets the entire property. That's why Netanyahu was there, and also having the guts to represent the Palestinians and speak on behalf of the Palestinians when he is literally killing them by the day, besieging them and colonizing their land, our land. And therefore, this whole thing is the most disingenuous scam we have ever seen in modern history. We Palestinians know exactly the way forward, and together with us, the rest of the world. I mean, the way forward is very well known. Israel must end its occupation that began in 1967 lines. It's simple, it's clear, it's straightforward. This is an illegal occupation. East Jerusalem is under illegal military occupation. Once Israel ends its occupation, a Palestinian sovereign state will be established in these territories, and a fair resolution to the issue of Palestinian refugees in accordance with international law.
Now, Israel,
this is the last thing, Becky, in this part. Now, Israel can have peace with its own settlers, because I saw in your video and transmission the leaders of the settler movement in Israel. Israel can have peace with the US president. Israel can have peace even with Europe or the Arab world. But in the end, Israel needs to have peace with us, the Palestinians. And what Netanyahu, with the help of Trump today, managed to say is simply this. Palestinian.
Let me just, sorry, and I am absolutely listening to what you're saying, but with respect, sir, I'm going to run out of time, and I do want our viewers just to hear a little more of what was said by President Trump in what was his pitch to you, the Palestinians. Have a listen.
This map will more than double the Palestinian territory and provide a Palestinian capital in eastern Jerusalem, where America will proudly open an embassy. No Palestinians or Israelis will be uprooted from their homes. Our vision will deliver massive commercial investment of $50 billion into the new Palestinian state. You have many, many countries that want to partake in this.
The words of Donald Trump, his son-in-law, the architect of this blueprint, let's call it, for what the Trump administration believes is a plan for peace between Israel and the Palestinians. If not now, when? To quote a phrase then from Benjamin Netanyahu earlier. Sir?
When there will be a genuine, real attempt at providing peace that will answer the very righteous, legitimate demands of the millions of people. I mean, people demand their dignity, their sovereignty, their freedom, and they demand justice. Justice is a very crucial word. Peace can never achieved via these diktats and bullying. I mean, nations cannot be bullied like this by a president, a US president, who knows little about the Palestinian people. He thinks we live on charity. In fact, we are one of the richest in the region. We have the human resources, we have the natural resources, but our resources are being stolen by the man who stands next to him, or stood next to him, Benjamin Netanyahu and his government. And by the way, we fund ourselves. International funding is a small little fraction of our budget. We are not in need of his money. And if he thinks, President Trump, that actually he can bribe us and he can buy our rights, we are not up for sale. We told them this directly, we tell them this. Now, the only way for peace to be achieved is the fulfillment of the Palestinian rights. And these rights have been enshrined in international law. The two-state solution, Becky, was never a Palestinian demand. It was an international requirement. And we have given that concession to the international community. And today, I think it's up to the international community to stand up for its own order, its own resolution. And I believe we Palestinians will remain where we are. We will raise our kids to the highest standards. We are resilient. We will persevere. We have seen many empires come and go. This is not the first, and it will not be the last. It's not the first colonial exercise against us. And we will remain. The question is about Israel and its future. And I tell you, today Israel has gone into the full-fledged apartheid, and it is about the international system. This is the question. And I believe today the international system has received a direct blow, and the world is expected to answer and to stand up for their own rules and their own principles.
With that, sir, we are going to leave it